Hello folks, welcome to the self-love sessions for the day. I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody is cool and enjoying this little vlog / podcast to help you come back to a deeper sense of self-love to the core. So today we're going to be talking about 3 things to put into your daily life to take you from fear to love. So these are what I think are the most powerful tools to keep you attuned and consistent with knowing that you want to go on that journey of actually loving yourself to the core, okay? They're the things that keep drawing you back in to the recognition that, I'm meant to be loving myself. Oh yes, that self-love thing. Let's go for it. Okay, so these are my 3 most powerful tools. They're not my tools, they're everybody's tools, but they are as in the things that I've practiced throughout my life, my most favourite ways to come back to that feeling of inner self-belief, that really deep, heart-driven self-belief and liking myself. Okay, so I have added these 3 things to my daily life for many years. And if I don't pop them into my daily life, then I'm doing them pretty frequently, okay? I have been ill with some sort of flu, some cold for the last week and a half or something like that, like we all do. So I haven't actually had this repetition, this rhythm of bringing these 3 really potent tools into my daily life, and I can feel it in my energy. So I'm going to get into these 3 tools. So if you pop these 3 tools into your daily life, or the most regular you possibly can, not necessarily daily, it's not always necessary, is it? But as regularly as you can, then you will start to feel a massive difference. Okay, so the first tool, these are not rocket science, all right? It's pretty much common sense, but it's common sense that really works, okay? And I'm going to explain why they work as well. So the first tool that is a real definite thing that needs to be done if you want to come back to self-love is move the body. Okay, and I'm going to explain why this is. And moving the body is probably the most beneficial tool to do first out of any of these other tools that I'm going to give you as well. And I'm going to tell you the reason for that as well, because I like reasons. Okay, as you probably know by now. So move the body, shift your energy. When you feel low in mood, when you feel low in self-worth, when you feel like your self-esteem has been a little bit battered from this exterior world, and you're bringing it in, and you're holding it, and you don't feel good about yourself, you feel flat, okay? What can tend to happen is your energy also becomes flat. So what you do is you sit around a lot more, you do this shape, this slouchy shape. I don't love myself, so I'm going to cover my heart space up and be sad. And it's sad, short, right? And that's what we do. The thoughts that we're having in our mind reflects in our body, reflects in our energy. Now, we can shift that pattern just by shifting our energy. So the first tool to use on a daily basis to help bring you back to a deeper sense of self-worth, loving yourself to the core, is to move your body. And this is the reason why. So our energy inside of our body, our energy inside and outside of our body, this interconnectivity of energy needs to move. It needs to move freely like water. Okay? It's spontaneous is the old energy. It wants to move, it wants to be free, like a lovely river going down a nice Alaskan creek. That's what I had in my mind then. Okay, so it's free flowing is your energy. However, what we do is we become stagnant in our energy. We don't feel good about ourselves. We sit around. We don't let that energy move. We don't clear it. We don't keep it on that conveyor belt. Okay, it's not like water. It's like a swamp. We don't want our energy to be like a swamp. When our energy is flat, stagnant, swamp-like, it's got loads of dirt in it and it's looking a bit grey, then we really need to revitalise that energy, and it will instantly make you feel good about yourself. Now, sometimes just that instantaneous making you feel good about yourself is enough for the nervous system to recognise that, oh, I feel good about myself. So that's the first step to actually then wanting to have a chain reaction to then doing the next thing that makes you feel good about yourself, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. These aren't superficial making yourself feel good about yourself. You know, these aren't just go to buy a load of clothes. This is also nice, right? But this is not the answer. It's a nice thing to do. It's a nice thing to do, isn't it? Like going out for a meal or having a few drinks or, doing these things. These are all nice things to do, but they're all very sort of like exterior nice things to do. Whereas the interior nice things to do, the first thing is moving your body and creating that fresh flow of energy. And that will create a positive ripple effect throughout your day. And then you'll keep moving through the day with these other habits that I'm going to tell you about. I mean, like I say, they're not rocket science. Everybody knows we need to move the body. We're humans. We've got legs. We've got little tentacles. Our extremities need to move. Our spine needs to move. You're only as young as your spine is flexible. It needs to move. The energy must keep flowing. Okay, and obviously we're living in a world where we're much more stagnant than we used to be, sitting around in jobs, them jobs that we have to go to. Ring, ring, sitting, slouching, phoning, driving. We'll probably only do a couple of little movements sometimes, don't we? Now, we used to be able to move. We used to be moving, didn't we, like quite more fluidly. Like our hip, it's a multi-axial joint. We probably move really low to the ground and we were opening up in different ways, using all the functionalities of the spine, keeping that energy free flowing, specifically in the central energy cord of the body. And we just simply don't do that anymore. And what we might do is we might finish work and then we might go to the gym and go. But still, I don't think we're getting as much movement, and that doesn't necessarily mean vigorous movement. It means keeping in the flow as we used to get back in the day before chairs were invented, offices were invented, and I suppose quite an unhealthy lifestyle was invented for us all, us very lucky modern day humans. No, I'm grateful for it, really. Yeah, we're in a real gift, right? But yeah, so get that energy moving. It is the most important thing for shifting your mindset. It's the first thing to do. So energy likes to move freely like water. We block it, stagnate it. It becomes like a swamp. The swamp becomes grey. It becomes cluttered. Our mind becomes grey. It becomes cluttered because the mind and the body are fluidly connected, right? So the body is a reflection of the mind, and the mind is a reflection of the body, and therefore the body is an important thing to do. And it's mainly because of that energy. You've probably heard people like Tony Robbins or some of these really influential people on the planet, or even business people, stuff like that. They tend to talk about the shifting of state. So if you're slouching and you're on the sofa or whatever, which we all do, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Look at my sofa behind there. It's definitely calling me, right? But you're slouching around. People like Tony Robbins, and something that I actually practice myself, change your posture and change your psychological state. So if you're feeling slouchy and you don't feel good about yourself and you're thinking, oh, I don't feel good about myself, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough for my job, I'm not good enough for my social circles, I don't look good enough when I look in the mirror. You're going to ruminate in the mind. Yeah, this posture is called the mind ruminating posture. Look at it. We only have to know that something bad is going on in there when we look at this posture. Okay, you can only look at this posture if you're watching on Facebook, but it's a slouchy old posture. Okay, so the first thing to do when you're ruminating in your mind is change your state, change your energy, and it might just look like this. Lift your heart space, Relax your shoulders down your back. Sit up very straight. Tuck your chin. Smile. Like a crazy person on the sofa. And the first thing that's going to do is it's going to open up your energy channels in the centre of the spine so that the energy can flow more freely. And just that sitting up tall, you will instantly feel, and let me know in the comments if you do that and you instantly feel better. You instantly feel in your own power. Yeah, you've opened your heart space, you're ready to go forward. Your shoulders are back and down, you mean business, you're smiling, your energy can flow freely. Your energy's stuck like this. This is swamp-like energy. This is free-flowing water. Okay, so feeling rubbish, want to move from love to fear in your day, sit up. Once you've become aware of feeling rubbish, sit up, shift your energy. Okay, if you want to move that a little further, bring your arms above your head and shake them. Okay, shake it out and make some little noises like this. Yeah, or any little noises you want, and make sure you're smiling and do something a little bit joyful. Shake, shake, shake and release. And you might even just take a little moment to notice how different your energy is once you've done that little shake. Okay, even better, you could get up and you could do some actual movement, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a walk, a run, a Kundalini session, a yoga session of any sort. Any sort of movement, just jumping around the house, put your favourite music on, do a dance, shift your energy. Make that swamp-like energy free-flowing river the minute you start to get self-critical. Okay, so that's my number one tip. Move the body, because you can't think your way out of a problem. So if you're sitting on the sofa trying to think, how can I be a better person? You already are great, you already are whole, but this mind is going to start to attack you if you're just sitting around doing that. Okay, so you can't think your way out of a problem because the problem is in here. Okay, so come back into the body and stop spending so much time in the four corners of the mind. Okay, that's the first tip. Tip number 2, to add into your daily life, to bring you from fear to love. Seek stillness, seek alone time and look inwardly. Okay, so there's many different methods you can do this. You might do it through just taking 5 minutes, sitting. Sit up straight if you can, because again, we're thinking about that energy. We don't want to be like this, oh, I want to just have a little moment to feel how I feel and just notice that stillness within myself, but you really can't be bothered. You have to lift and open and be really encourage yourself to enjoy these processes as well, and that will come through your energy. So you might take 5 minutes, just closing your eyes, taking some very, very regular, normal breaths. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be trained in meditation. You don't have to, there's not a specific way of taking time in stillness alone, by the way, because we're always with people, we're always getting distracted, and an alone time is really, really, really needed for self-inquiry. It's needed. I've spent a hell of a lot of time alone, and that's not harm for me because I love it, right? Not everybody does though. So some people are real socialites, and that time alone is really necessary to come into stillness for some self-inquiry. So you might just start in your daily habits, sitting in stillness, connecting to the breath, allowing the breath to be an anchor to your stillness. Okay, it doesn't matter if your mind's talking shit, because it does. The mind likes to talk. It is just a big narrative, a big computer session, isn't it? From like all of that stuff that you've gathered through life. So just let the mind do what it wants. Yeah, you don't have to judge it. Just let it do what it wants. And every time, just keep coming back to the breath. Okay, it's as simple as that. Spending some time in stillness. You might even ask yourself some simple little questions. Really simple questions like, who is it inside that I'm trying to connect to? Where is that deep sense of self-love? Is it here? Do you know what I mean? Is it what I look like? Where is it? And you might just ask those questions and listen and breathe and notice the answers. And the more you start to come into that stillness, the more your intuition comes into play, the more quiet your mind is, the more loud your spirit becomes. And when your spirit becomes louder because your mind is a little stiller and you're less distracted from all of these ongoings, this hyper-stimulated world, then you become much more loud in your spirit. Your intuition becomes louder and it tells you things. Believe it or not, when you quieten the mind a little bit, your spirit goes, ooh, this is the way forward. It guides you. But we have to try and allow the mind to be a little bit more relaxed first and actually care to come into knowing oneself from the heart, from the spirit, instead of just what society has told us we should be, right? Which is all stored here. So that's my second best tip, is to seek the stillness. Ask yourself a few questions, listen to the answer. Don't worry if the answers don't come. Just keep the practice up and it will come. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the mind, a cognitive thing, a cognitive mindfulness approach. So we've got switch your energy up by moving your body, add this to your daily life to move from fear to love. Have some self-inquiry, stillness, alone time without any distractions, no music, no books, no nothing, just the breath and you. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, just something with that open, straight spine. And then the last thing is a cognitive approach into your daily life to come to a deeper sense of self-inquiry, a deeper sense of awareness, a deeper sense of self-love. You must observe the mind in daily life. Become the watchman of your thoughts. Now, this takes practice, right? Sure, these things all take practice. And it's about practice. Life is a practice. It's not a perfect, it's not an outcome, it's a practice. But if you keep practicing them, you'll start to see the shifts. So, watching the mind, becoming an observer of the mind. That means whilst you're doing the dishes, whenever you get a moment and you go, oh, I'm meant to be watching the mind, watch it. Notice what it's telling you. Do you know what I mean? Grab some popcorn, sit in the audience and watch the thoughts like you're watching characters in a play. Bit of popcorn. That's a bit of a weird story. Yes, an even weirder story. Now it's going down a right rabbit hole, and there's possibly a chance you might give yourself a little giggle instead of taking it all so serious up there, because it all is just one big computer, one big memory bank that's churning a load of rubbish continuously, and some good stuff, right? But lots of the time it's stuff we really don't need to attach to. But becoming the observer, watching it, think of the thoughts like characters in a play. Grab your popcorn, sit back, have a little giggle, and just know that you're not your thoughts, okay? Whilst you're washing up, when you become aware, watch your thoughts. Whilst you're walking down the street and you're thinking certain things, watch them. Notice how you react when you're in a conversation with people and people are you don't want to, but you might be having an argument with somebody. Watch your reaction. Can you come to a state of awareness before you react or don't react, or however it comes? Watching the thoughts instead of being the thoughts is a really beneficial tool moving forward. Okay, so I always bring this little mantra into this watching the thoughts, and I always bring this little mantra into this seeking of stillness as well, this inward looking. It's a little mantra that I made up for myself, but I use it and I give it to all my students, and they always say it's really effective, so I'm going to give it to you. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the awareness that dwells inside. Okay, so when you're sitting in that little still silence with yourself and you're getting attacked with all of these unloving, unkind thoughts towards yourself, you might replay that little mantra, I am not the body, therefore I don't need to be that attached to it because it's just a vessel taking me from A to B, and I'm going to look after that vessel because it's my home, it's the home for my soul. I'm not the body though, I'm not it. I'm not the mind, I am the awareness that dwells inside you, that simple, clean, aware consciousness that dwells inside of the body and the mind. And when you can sort of like detach yourself from those things and know that you have a mind and you have a body, and you're going to move your body to stop the fluctuations of the mind and come back to that stillness and know that you're already whole as it is, then this is a really helpful little mantra to bring through into your daily life. So I'll put the mantra in the description of this podcast vlog. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the awareness that dwells inside. That needs to resonate with you. So you might just try it out for a week or something like that when you're sitting in stillness, or when you're walking through the streets or doing your washing and you're getting attacked by your thoughts. You might just bring that mantra back in. It might shift you back into that more content and calm space within you, a space of self-love. So there you have it. Today, 3 of not mine, but the things that I like to do on a daily basis, 3 extremely powerful tools to take you from fear to love on a daily basis. Get them in. Body, shift your state, get that energy flowing like a river. 2, stillness, have some self-inquiry, look within without any distractions, use the breath to anchor you. And then 3, watch your thoughts throughout the day. You're not going to be able to watch them all day, right? This is challenging. But just whenever it comes up that, oh, yeah, I was meant to be becoming that little popcorny observer at the side, do it, try it. Notice how it allows you to not be in the clutter of the mind, and it allows you to observe it from a little bit more of a peaceful bird's eye view, if that's the way to describe it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little podcast today, guys. If you liked it, then give us a like, give us a share if it resonates with you, if you think it'll help one of your loved ones, and I shall see you tomorrow. Lots of love. Ciao.